Hello everyone, I am Aluminium Man and I'm back with a brand new video. Marvel's Avengers is a brand new game that promises to bring consistent monthly updates post-release. Updates that are going to be free for everyone. Now to keep things in line with standard Marvel speculation, I've put together a little list of potential heroes I believe Crystal Dynamics have got lined up to be introduced into the Marvel gaming universe. If you haven't watched my video on how I think Marvel's Avengers is going to be the MCU of the gaming industry, then go check it out before proceeding with this video, otherwise you may wonder why I think we'll be getting more heroes introduced into the game in the future. There will be a link to that video in the description below. But now, let's get into the list of heroes we may see popping up in Marvel's Avengers. First off, we have got Namor, the Submariner. Now, Namor is one of Marvel's oldest comic book characters, making his debut back in 1939. The head of Crystal Dynamics, Scott Amos, has made a few statements remarking how AIM, the main antagonist of the main story campaign, have several small links to a possible Namor introduction. AIM has an undersea base messing around with strange technology. It's very likely that while messing around with this technology in the ocean, it could potentially inadvertently threaten the safety of Atlantis and its people, which could lead Namor to take action against MODOK and his minions to protect his home and his people. What I like about this theory is that we have a link to the main antagonist, so there's no need to introduce new villains, but can carry on from the main story more fluidly, making it easier to provide a more solid ground for the hero Namor to stand on in his introduction. We could at one point see Namor fighting off a bunch of mechanical fish swimming around the ocean. It'll be interesting to see how they incorporate the underwater region aspect of the game, as Scott Amos did also say that hero-specific regions will be introduced with these heroes. So not only do I think Namor could show up, but Atlantis could show up as well, having AIM already positioned themselves underwater. Another likely hero we could see being introduced into the game as a playable character is Doctor Strange. The main reason we could see the Sorcerer Supreme show up is because he already is going to be introduced, or already has depending on when you watch this video. Now, Titan Books, a big publisher, are releasing a prequel comic to Marvel's Avengers called The Extinction Key. Along with setting up the game's events in motion, this comic book will introduce us to the game's versions of both Doctor Strange and Brother Voodoo, so we've already gotten the character set up in the game. All Crystal Dynamics have to do is now bring him in as a playable character. The only downside to this theory is what would be the related region the character will be a part of. I think if we're having the Master of the Mystic Arts, we should at least get the multiverse along with that, which I think is a little beyond the current path the game designers want to take with this game. However, I think we can all agree it would be beyond mind-boggling. It would be interesting to see how Crystal Dynamics would approach a potential multiverse with Doctor Strange, if that's even possible. I mean, what limitations do you bring to a game with a character that can literally do anything? The guy can even control time. One hero we may not see coming is Ant-Man, until of course he grows back up to size. Similarly with Doctor Strange, we've already seen Ant-Man in action, albeit it was one small clip. It's not like he was in one of the story missions or within the gameplay. It's a quick little scene showcasing what I believe to be Hank Pym on the road of developing his famous shrinking technology. As you can hear Tony's remarks that he's surprised it worked out, meaning that it's not like we've seen before where Hank Pym, especially being the founding member of the Avengers in the comics, has been around as long as the other characters are in the game. So who knows, we could be seeing more of an origin introduction to the character, and maybe the region we get to explore would be the world on a smaller scale. I think it's safe to assume that we will not be visiting the quantum realm anytime soon. In this one scene, we do see Hank Pym with what appears to be a gigantic shrink cannon. Ironic really that he couldn't shrink the cannon down to a more handheld design. So it doesn't seem he's gotten to the point where he's developed a fully functional Ant-Man suit. So it'll be interesting to see how they incorporate that origin story into the game's story campaign as well. Black Panther Another hero who in my view is a likely candidate to be introduced early on. This is due to how easily it will be for the game developers to introduce him into the story, along with the hero-specific region and villains to match. That region of course being Wakanda, and the villain to be Ulysses Claw, whose role in the MCU was cut short, or was shot short, by the movie's main villain, Killmonger. The reason I believe this stands on some solid ground is because A, Black Panther has, in the comics, some connection to Namor, who, if showed up, would be a good reason to bring him in. 2, he's got a very unique combat style, which could be incorporated in a unique way, different to what the current characters we've seen. C, also, having Claw in the game will keep the story more grounded, allows Crystal Dynamics to link Black Panther to the rest of the Avengers, because Claw is one of those villains that has always become a thorn in the back of a variety of different Avengers members, like Iron Man for example. Claw has also had ties to AIM in the comics. During the Acts of Vengeance storyline, Claw is taken in by AIM, who then control him by implanting a pain control device into his arm, and then later send him to fight the reformed super-villainous Volcano. Now, I don't think Volcano is going to be showing up, but it could likely be that Crystal Dynamics adapt this storyline in some aspect. Maybe Claw is taken in by AIM, controlled in however way MODOK sees fit, and then be sent off to Wakanda to steal the vibranium, similarly how we saw in the MCU. Vibranium being one of the strongest metals on Earth, it would make sense that MODOK would want to make himself and his allies as strong as they could be. And of course, go into Wakanda could then also introduce Black Panther and the storyline of fighting for his country against Claw, which would be interesting to see. Now, the last potential character to show up could be Spider-Man. Before the keyboard warriors head to the comments to tell me that, oh, there was a Spider-Man game released not too long ago on PS4. I know. I just don't care. Hence why I'm here right now talking about how Spider-Man will be in Marvel's Avengers. Before I go any further, I don't think that it will be Peter Parker or Miles Morales' Spider-Man that we get, because it could literally be any other Spider-Man ever. We've got Spider-Girl, Spider-Woman, Spider-Gwen, Spider-Monkey, Spider-Man Noir, Spider-Ham, Scarlet Spider, and Spider-Man? The reason why I think we will get a Spider-Man introduced is down to the uniqueness of the character, along with him being a famous character, of course. Spider-Man also has one of the greatest villains rogue galleries in comic book history. This is coupled with the very easy to integrate New York City region, as it's probably already an area we're going to get anyway, so it makes sense to just reintroduce a character without having to match the region. So far, with every hero we have in the game, each of them has a different combat style to make them feel all unique and provide variety in the game, apart from Kamala Khan, who's kind of a mixture of all of them. She kind of incorporates different sections of different characters. Now, you will have to forgive me because I've not actually played the Spider-Man PS4 game, because I didn't buy a PS4. I'm not an idiot. I made an intelligent decision and bought an Xbox instead. Now, if anyone can count how many times I just said Spider-Man, congratulations, you just wasted your time. But that will do it for this video. Realistically, I could be here all day listing literally every Marvel comic book character ever, so I just left it at 5. But I probably will do another 5 list later on sometime after the game is released, once we've actually got some heroes introduced into the game. But for now, we'll leave it at this. Now, I do actually want to know what you guys think on this. Which characters do you think we could see showing up in Marvel's Avengers? And who would you most want to play as? Let me know down in the comments below. As always, Hulk, smash that like button. And don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with all things Marvel's Avengers related. But for now, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Goodbye.